Warning, this podcast contains coarse language and graphic content. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi everybody, this is Jessie.
And April.
And this is Murder and Things, a true crime podcast. How is everybody this week? I hope everyone had a wonderful week. And I totally heard that rattling then. I thought the cat was here, but there is no cat.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know. He's chilling.
God damn it. Well, it can't be anything creepy because he'd be making noise at me right now. Because that was me over there feeding him. That's why the door's open.
Okay, I was like, please tell me that didn't just open because I'm going to get the fuck out.
Why'd you leave me like your mother did? That's a whole other fucking story. But anyhow.
Okay, so
I will just walk over there and close it.
Yeah, I'll keep chatting while you do that. Okay, so this week April is going to read the episode and we're going to do Jonestown, starring Jim Jones himself, that butt wench, and the People's Temple, which is his cult, and that's that. So yeah, April's going to read it this time. Take it away.
I still have no idea what the fuck it's all about, so I'm learning just as you're hearing me.
Yeah, take it away, big sis.
Okay. Jonestown Massacre.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Jim Jones was born on May 13, 1931, in a rural area of Crete, Indiana, to James Thurman Jones, a World War I vet, and Lynette Putman. Jones was of Irish and Welsh descent. He later claimed partial Cherokee ancestry through his mother, but this was... But his maternal second cousin said that was a load of BS.
Mm-hmm.
In 1934, the economic difficulties during the Great Depression forced the family to move to the nearby town of Lynn. So it's Lyntown.
Lyntown.
This is the Jonestown Massacre.
Yeah, it's Lyntown. Yeah.
Where Jones grew up in a shack without plumbing.
Ew.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't swallow it.
No. I'm a glamper if I'm in the mood. Otherwise, it's hotel rooms.
No, I'm cool to go lay under the stars, but then I want to go and have a hot shower. And
yeah, that's glamping then. It's caravans.
Yeah.
Caravans.
No, not even
No,
that.
like the bus ones?
No, not even that.
Oh, hotel.
Yeah. Out on the beach. I'm cool to go
like
lay
beach
out.
hunting?
Well, I'll go and lay under the stars, but then I want to go somewhere where I can lock the door and not be eaten by bugs.
No, I agree with that.
Hot shower.
Yeah.
Maybe some Netflix.
Yeah. No, okay.
I realise it's first world problems, but...
I don't really give a fuck.
No. Jones was a voracious reader. Ooh, that sounds dangerous.
It really does.
Like that. Anyway, who studied Stalin, Marx, Mao, Gandhi, and Adolf Hitler. I love the...
I love that they've put Gandhi next to Adolf. Like, that was how it was read. Like, I just... Yeah. Yeah. It's like just to name a few.
Yeah, okay. He would learn more from their strengths and weaknesses, and this helped him later on. He also developed an intense interest in religion. That's never good. Mm-mm. Some suggest this was primarily because he found it difficult to make friends. I think I said to you once before that this kind of shit sounds like the makings of any fucking villain from any movie ever.
Yeah.
Childhood acquaintances called Jones a really weird kid who was obsessed with religion and death, alleging that he frequently held funerals for small animals on his parents' property. And that he had stabbed a cat to death. Who the fuck stabs a cat to death?
I know. Even when you say it to yourself and saying it out loud, you still have that same fucking reaction.
Yeah. Number one, how do you get it to stay still to be able to stab it once?
Yeah, I know.
Them motherfuckers are just crazy.
They're fucking quick.
Mm-hmm. Anyhow, there's reports that Jones would kill small animals just to have the funerals. Yeah, that right there is serial killer shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool beans, all right. It was also suggested his father had ties to the KKK and his relationship with his father was horrible due to their different beliefs. Jones and his father had a massive fight one day over his father not allowing one of Jones's African-American friends into the house.
Asshole.
Yep. His parents later split and he moved with his mama bear to Richmond, Indiana. In December of 1948, he graduated from Richmond High School early with honours. Well, there you fucking
Smarty
go.
pants.
Indeed. To support himself, Jones worked as an orderly at Richmond's Reed Hospital and was well regarded by the senior management. However, staff members later recalled Jones exhibiting disturbing behaviour. One former co-worker of Jones's, with whom he had been childhood friends, recalled an incident where Jones manhandled a patient in traction while dry shaving him. That just sounds like bumps and shaver wrap.
That just sounds like punishment.
Yeah. Resulting in the patient's injury with a straight razor, and then gave a menacing look at the co-worker. Okay. It was at Reed Hospital where Jones met nurse.
Yeah, I just called her Nurse Baldwin.
Okay, Nurse Baldwin, that's who we're doing.
Yeah.
Whom he married in 1949. She would die with him at Jonestown. Ooh, but more on that later.
She a ride or die. Definite.
Well, yeah. I mean, so she was with him for the
whole thing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. That's a very understanding wife.
I know, right? Either she just was crazy or was just like, you do you, boo.
That's great. I'm sleeping with the gardener, so I'll let you kill these people.
Yeah, it's fine, whatever.
Okay, sure. Jones and his wife relocated to Bloomington, Indiana, where he attended Indiana University, Bloomington.
Yeah, I know.
The way they that read wrong, but okay.
Yeah.
There he was at Bloomington, Indiana, was the University of Indiana, University of Bloomington. Okay, cool.
You say up here and down here.
That's right, but not with the
upward inflection.
There he was impressed with a speech by Eleanor Roosevelt about the plight of the African Americans. In 1951, the couple relocated to Indianapolis. Jones attended Indiana University for 2 years and then took night classes at Butler University, earning a degree in secondary education in 1961, 10 years after enrolling. I really didn't think he did. Really?
I love how he graduated early from school, but took him 10 years.
Took sweet ass time to do uni.
But I think like in that time he started his cult. So like he was culting.
I haven't found that bit yet.
Yeah, okay. I'm pretty sure it's in that time.
In the 1955 years written. I'm going to say in the 1950s. All right. Jones started his own church or cult. Here we go. Depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, I was
we're going to say cult.
Fuck you, it's cult.
The Wings of Deliverance. Yeah, all I got is ding ding ding. Which later became the People's Temples. He was ordained as a minister in 1957 by the Independent Assemblies of God and in 1964 by the Disciples of Christ. Pretty sure you can do that on the interwebs now. Anywho, Jones and his wife adopted several non-white children, referring to their household as his rainbow family, and stating, "Integration is a more personal thing with me now. It's a question of my son's future." Well, fair enough. He also portrayed the temple as a rainbow family.
Aww.
Just lovely.
Aww, look at him in his little Care Bears.
That's what it is.
It is.
Yeah. All right. In 1954, the Joneses adopted Agnes, who was part Native American. In 1959, they adopted 3 Korean-American children named Lou, Stephanie, and Suzanne, the later of whom was adopted at age 6, and encouraged temple members to adopt orphans from war-ravaged Korea. Jones was critical of the U.S. opposition to North Korean leader Kim Il-sung. I don't know if that's right, but
we're going to go with it.
Calling the Korean War a war of liberation and stating that South Korea is a living example of all socialism in the North has overcome.
Rightio.
Okay. Cool beans, dude. Mm-hmm. In 1959, Jones and his wife had their only biological child, naming him Stephen Gandhi.
Yeah.
All right. In 1961, they became the first white couple in Indiana to adopt a black child, naming him Jim Jones Jr. Ooh. They also adopted a white son. A white son?
I was just going to say, did you just do that?
I did.
Whole white son. Like whole whipped cream.
That's it, whipped cream.
Whipped cream.
Why? It's a whipped cream. Originally named Timothy Glenn Tupper, whose birth mother was a member of the temple.
I'm going to say it. What a slut.
Jesus. All right. Jones and his family travelled to Brazil in 1962 to try and start a people's temple there, which failed.
Haha.
So the Joneses returned from Brazil to December, in December of 1963, and told his Indiana congregation that the world would be engulfed by nuclear war on July 15, 1967. Very specific.
Yep.
Leading to a new socialist Eden on Earth, and that the temple had to move to North Carolina for safety. Accordingly, the temple began moving to Redwood Valley, California. Hold on, I need to take a drink. Why do I know that?
Riding in this world. Was it riding through this world?
All alone.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's Jax!
Oh my god. Yeah. God love the Suns.
I mean, they're not real, but sure.
They're amazing. I still want their fucking table. And their gavel.
I just want that so you can hit people with it.
That too. That makes it more fun. And then I want a thing saying, we're in a meeting.
Can't talk, we're in a meeting. It's a fucking TV show.
That's what's going to happen when I have my house.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we're in a meeting.
Well, that can be on the door when we're recording.
Yeah, we're in a meeting. Oh, I love that.
I'll get you a sign.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Anyway, back to Jonestown. According to religious studies, Professor... Oh, wait. Oh, no, I was reading that.
No, yeah. I was going to say that should be the next one.
Yeah. According to religious studies, Professor Catherine Wessinger, Jones always spoke... Oh, I missed a word. That's why it didn't make sense. According to religious studies Professor Catherine Wessinger, Jones always spoke of the social gospel's virtues, but chose to conceal that his gospel was actually communism until the late 1960s. By that time, he began partially revealing the details of his apostolic socialism concept in temple sermons. Okay, so he's starting to let the crazy out the bag now, right?
It's slowly seeping out.
Jones also taught that those who remained drugged with the opiate of religion had to be brought to enlightenment, which is socialism.
I think someone needs to put the opiate down.
He often mixed these ideas once preaching. Okay, if you're born in capitalist America, racist America, fascist America, then you're born in sin. But if you're born in socialism, you're not born in sin. Right. Okay. By the early 70s, Jones began deriding?
I guess deriding.
Okay. Well, he's starting to, talk shit about Christianity and saying that it is a flyaway religion. Oh, snap. Rejecting the Bible as being a tool to oppress women and non-whites and denouncing a sky god. That just makes it sound like a video game.
Yeah,
who was no god at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
He wrote a booklet titled The Letter Killeth, criticizing the King James Bible. Jones also began preaching that he was the reincarnation of Father Divine Mahatma Gandhi. Jesus.
Yeah.
Buddha.
Yeah.
And Lenin. Oh, snap. That's that dude. Oh, he isn't cool. Former Temple member Hugh Forston Jr., that is such an old white man name, quoted him as saying, "What you need to believe in is what you can see. If you see me as your friend, I'll be your friend. As you see me as your father, I'll be your father. For those of you who don't have a father, if you see me as your savior, I'll be your savior. If you see me as your God, I'll be your God."
Fucking power trip.
In the 76 phone conversation with John Marr, Jones alternately said he was an agnostic and an atheist.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, okay, and this is his missus is admitting in 77 New York Times interview that Jones was trying to promote Marxism in the US by mobilizing people through religion, citing Mao Zedong as his inspiration. Jim used religion to try to get some people out of the opiate of religion. He had slammed the Bible on the table, yelling, "I've got to destroy this paper idol." In one sermon, Jones said, "You're going to help yourself or you'll get no help. There's only one hope of glory, and that's within you." Nobody's going to come out of the sky. There's no heaven up there. We'll have to make heaven down here.
Is it wrong that I said we all float down here?
Oh, that's your it thing, isn't it? Wait, is that the dude that done so much?
I don't know the book that you...
I don't know, the war one.
I still don't know. You don't tell me the books you read.
Chinese war one.
Okay, still doesn't.
Oh, what the fuck? This is what happens when I study. It's all gone. I can tell you about tax brackets and investment stuff, but I can tell you what the fuck it was called. Jesus Christ. Hang on. Now I need to know what the fuck it was called. Oh my God, The Art of War. Farah, and it's Sun Tzu. It's not even this Mayo dude. Man, did I have that wrong.
Wow. I don't know
Damn.
if I should be offended or not.
No, it's just, uni has just like mushed my head. Like so much. Anyway, it, by the way, was very interesting read.
There you go. The unintentional plug.
Yeah.
Didn't fail.
The Art of War. How the fuck did I not know that? Anyway.
It's 4 letters. 4 words.
I know. Okay, you'll have to make heaven down here. Boom. Within 5 years of moving to California, the temple experienced a period of exponential growth and opened branches in cities including San Fernando, San Francisco, and LA. By the early 1970s, Jones began shifting his focus to major cities across California because of limited expansion opportunities in Utah. He eventually moved. That doesn't make sense because I don't know where Utah is, but but I don't feel it's near Cali. California. Anyway, he eventually moved the temple's headquarters to San Francisco, which was a major center for radical protest movements. Jones and the temple soon became influential in city politics, culminating in the temple's instrumental role in George Moscone's election as mayor in 1975. Moscone subsequently appointed Jones as the chairman of the San Francisco Housing Authority Commission. Oh, that sounds fancy. Jones was able to gain contact with prominent politicians at the local and national level. For example, he and Moscone met privately with vice presidential candidate Walter Mondale on his campaign plane days before the 1976 election, leading Mondale to publicly praise the temple. First Lady Rosalind Carter also met with Jones on multiple occasions, corresponded with him about Cuba, and spoke with him at the grand opening of the San Francisco headquarters, where he received a louder applause than she did. So him, like the dude last week, had ties in all the right spots to make him look like he done no shit and he was an awesome dude.
That one.
Yes. In September of 1976, Assemblyman Willie Brown. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I'm reading it as the name. No, he's Assemblyman Willie Brown. I'm like, who's calling their kid Assemblum?
That's a different name.
This is the South, and these are old people's names. I don't know, man.
True.
Oh, look, I'm not judging. Willie Brown, all right, served as master of ceremonies at a large testimonial dinner for Jones, attended by Governor Jerry Brown. And, I wonder if they're, related. And Lieutenant Governor Mervyn Dimley. Oh, my.
I bet he was very dim. Probably wasn't very bright.
Oh, my fucking God. Yep. At the dinner, Brown touted Jones as what you should see every day when you look in the mirror. Is that taunted? Should there be an N in that?
I feel like it's taunted.
Yeah, okay. Brown taunted Jones as what you should see every day when you look in the mirror and said he was a combination of Martin Luther King Jr., Angela Davis. Wait. Albert Einstein and that Mayo dude again. Harvey Milk. All right. Harvey Milk spoke to audiences during political rallies held at the temple, and he wrote to Jones after one such visit, and this is what it was. Reverend Jim, it may take me many a day to come back down from the high that I reached today. I feel like he's writing this with a big feather.
Yeah.
I found something dear today. I found a sense of being that makes up for all the hours and energy placed in a fight. I found what you wanted me to find. I shall be back, for I can never leave. All right, sure.
Yeah,
Jones hosted local political figures, including Davis, at his San Francisco apartment for discussions. Is that just code for cocaine and orgies?
I feel like that's exactly
Yeah, all right.
what it is.
He
You
spoke-
know what, if Gacy was doing it.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Yeah.
He spoke with publisher... We probably shouldn't assume that everyone does that. I mean...
I'm going to assume it till it's proven wrong, okay?
Yeah, fair enough. He spoke
Like in
with...
60s and 70s, like, prove me wrong.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Exactly.
He spoke with publisher Carlton Goodlett of the Sun Reporter newspaper about his remorse over not being able to travel to socialist countries such as China and the Soviet Union, speculating that he could be chief dairyman of the USSR. What the fuck is chief dairyman? Is he in charge of all the cows?
I honestly feel like he's head cowboy.
Yeah. Like, that's just a publicity thing.
Yeah, but I'm going to casually Google while
Alright.
you talk, and I'm going to...
Okay. Jones's criticisms led to increased tensions with the Nation of Islam. So he spoke at a large rally in the Los Angeles Convention Center that was attended by many of his closest political acquaintances, hoping to close the rift between the two groups. Jones also forged alliances with key columnists and others at the San Francisco Chronicle and other press outlets. Although the move to San Francisco also brought increasing media scrutiny. Ah, okay. Encountering...
Pause
what's a dairyman?
is head of staff. It's just a fancy name for a head of staff in Russia, for the Russian army.
Right.
Attacked in Chief Dairyman SSR, who is the leader of the Russian army. The chief of the general staff is the head of the general staff and the highest ranking officer in the Russian army forces.
So he's just for show.
Yes.
Oh, wait, is he, like, legit?
I just think he's just the
Just being a
fucking
fuckwit,
manager.
because, yeah, okay.
Someone's a manager with a fancy name.
Okay.
Continue on.
All right.
That's what the Google says.
That's what the Google says? All right, then, go the Google. Encountering resistance by his editors to publishing an investigative piece about the temple, Chronicle reporter Marshall Kilduff brought his story to New West magazine. In the summer of 1977, Jones and several hundred followers abruptly decided to move to the temple's communal settlement in Guyana?
Yeah, Diana.
Guyana? All right. Guyana. No, it's Diana, but anyway.
Yeah.
Officially called the People's Temple Agricultural Project. Oh, here we go. This is going to sound like a cult place. But formerly known as Jonestown. There it is.
And we are here.
In
This is the
Jonestown.
time. Oh, yeah, to Jonestown.
Okay. After they learned the contents of Kilduff's article, which included allegations by temple defectors of physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So they decided once they sort of like their shit was put out, they decided to go and hide at the agricultural farm. Basically, they've gone to the farm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go to the farm.
Because it's been published now, all the bad shit about them.
There's a big headquarters in Jonestown itself.
Yeah.
And you go to the headquarters first, you give them all your stuff. You're just like, here's all my things that are mine that are now yours. Then they send you to the farm. And then that's where you're at.
Would I have to give up my weed? Because I don't want to share it with them.
Well, no, but I guess if you're a pretty decent grower, they could use you. Yeah. That's just my opinion.
Is that like the worst thing? Is like you growing pot on the religious camp?
It's to help us bond and reach our spiritual enlightenment. Also, I fucking needed to deal with this.
Insert sound of a bong right
Yeah.
now. But anyway. All right. Jones had started building Jonestown several years before the New West article was published. It was promoted as a means to create both a socialist paradise and a sanctuary. Yes. Fucking hell. From the media circus in San Francisco. Jones supported to establish it as a model communist community, adding that the temple comprised the purest communists that there are. Jones did not permit members to leave the settlement. Oh, look at him. Religious scholar Mary Marga argues that Jones's authority decreased after the exodus to Jonestown because he was not needed for recruitment and he could not hide his drug addiction. There it is. I knew it was coming from rank and file members. There's always drug addiction or something seedy and delicious. Seedy and delicious,
Cocaine
Jess.
and hookers. Told you.
I know, right? In spite of the allegations prior to Jones's departure, he was still respected by some for setting up a racially integrated church, which helped the disadvantaged. Okay, fair enough. 68% of Jonestown residents were black. Jones began to propagate, his belief in what he termed translation. Once his followers settled in Jonestown, claiming that he and his followers would all die together, moved to another planet, and lived blissfully. How much has he fucking had at this point?
Long time.
Yes! Oh, where's my bubble wrap suit?
Yes!
Fuck yeah.
Oh, dude.
Sweet. Anyway, we should watch that again. Jones claimed he was the biological father of a child named John Victor Stone, though the birth certificate listed temple attorney Timothy Stone and his wife Grace as the parents of the child. Okay. The temple repeatedly claimed that Jones fathered the child in 71 when Stone had requested that Jones have sex with Grace to keep her from defecting. Wow. Grace left the temple in 76, so what's that, 5 years later, and began divorce proceedings the following year. Jones ordered Stone to take the boy to Guyana in February of 1977 in order to avoid a custody dispute with Grace. After Stone himself defected in June 77, the temple kept the child in Jonestown. What the fuck? Seriously?
Yeah, there was a lot of that. A lot.
Why would you leave, but leave your kids in that fucked up space?
Because he promised that they would stay safe and that they could come back any time.
And you believe this nut job?
Yeah, they did. Then they all died.
Okay. Jones also fathered Jim John, Kimmo, is his other name.
Jim, John, Jack, who else?
My favourite men.
Yeah, he's my favourite man.
Yeah. With temple member Carolyn Layton. Okay, well, so he's sleeping with the members. I don't see that as something, oh my gosh, a leader abusing his power. Oh no, what a fucking shock. Anyway, in the autumn of 77.
Okay, go on.
Well, I mean, you know, it's not like we've never heard this before.
No, it's sounding oddly familiar to every other serial killer in the past.
Oh, yeah, or any other fucking member of something high that has a shit ton of power that can use that power to be like, suck my dick or I won't give you a promotion. Or the gates to heaven or wherever the fuck we're going, just suck my dick.
Just like anyway.
Like, well, I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, okay. In the autumn of 77, Timothy Stone and other temple defectors formed a concerned relatives group because they had family members remaining in Jonestown. Well, don't fucking leave them there. Stone travelled to Washington, D.C. in January of 1978 to visit the State Department officials and members of Congress and wrote a white paper detailing his grievances against Jones and the temple.
Okay, I'm going to ask a dumb fucking question.
Go.
What's the difference between normal paper and a white paper?
I think the whole white paper thing, I think that was like that might be like their formal complaint thing.
Okay.
Like, I don't think it's because he's in with the State Department officials and members of Congress, so it's not a bill because a bill's in like a yellow envelope thing that they do, all ceremonial and shit. But the white paper might be like against someone. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
Google that shit quick.
Is it white paper what?
Just white paper. put something about Congress and America in it. Otherwise, God knows what you're going to get. Like, dumb it down for Google.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So it's just basically a intended fully documented form for the readers of a particular topic that combines experts' knowledge and research in a document.
Okay, and they put it out there for the world to see and make it official.
For a certain solution or something like that.
Okay, so they've written it up so that they can actually get official help to get their family members back. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, like, help us.
All right, fair enough.
Shit's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. His efforts aroused the curiosity of California Congressman Leo Ryan, who wrote a letter on Stone's behalf to the Guyanese Prime Minister Forbes Burnham. Again, another very old white man name.
I know, considering what they are.
Yeah. I love it, though.
I do too.
Yeah. The concerned relatives also began a legal battle with the temple over the custody of Stone's son. Most of Jones's political allies broke ties after his departure, though some did not. Willie Brown spoke out against enemies at a rally that was attended by Harvey Milk and Assemblyman Art Agnes. On February 19, 1978, Milk wrote a letter to U.S. President Jimmy Carter defending Jones as a man of the highest character.
Someone likes getting his dick sucked.
Oh, so much. And claims that temple defectors were trying to damage Reverend Jones's reputation with apparent bold-faced lies. Okay. Mayor Moscone's office issued a press release saying Jones had broken no laws. Yeah. On April 11, 1978, the concerned relatives distributed a packet of documents, letters, and affidavits to the People's Temple, members of the press, and members of Congress, which they titled An Accusation of Human Rights Violations by Reverend James Warren Jones. In June 78, escaped Temple member Deborah Layton provided the group with a further affidavit detailing crimes by the Temple and substandard living conditions in Jonestown. Jones was facing increasing scrutiny in the summer of 78 when he hired JFK assassination conspiracy theorist Mark Lane and Donald Freed to help make the case of a grand conspiracy against the temple by U.S. intelligence agencies. Jones told Lane that he wanted to pull an Eldridge Cleaver, referring to the fugitive member of the Black Panthers who was able to return to the U.S. after rebuilding his reputation. In November of 1978, Congressman Ryan led a fact-finding mission to Jonestown to investigate allegations of human rights abuses. His delegation included relatives of Jonestown, of Temple members, an NBC camera crew, and reporters for various newspapers. The group arrived in the Guyanese capital of Georgetown. Oh, it's not fucking Jonestown yet. On November 15. 2 days later, they travelled by aeroplane to Port Quaytuma, then were transported to Jonestown in a tractor transporter. Okay. Jones hosted a reception for the delegation that evening at the Central Pavilion in Jonestown, during which Temple member Vernon Gosney passed a note meant for Ryan to NBC reporter Don Harris requesting assistance for himself and another Temple member, Monica Bagby, in leaving the settlement. Ryan's delegation left hurriedly that afternoon of November 18 after Temple member Don Sly attacked the congressman with a knife.
Yeah.
Though the attack was thwarted, Ryan and his delegation managed to take along 15 Temple members who had expressed a wish to leave, and Jones made no attempt to prevent their departure at the time.
No, he didn't. There was still like camera crew and stuff there, and they were trying to get his reaction on seeing.
And he was trying to be good about it.
Yeah, he was. He was getting upset and stuff, and was just like you guys have come in here and done this. You're scaring off my people. Like, I wish you'd just leave us alone and stop spreading lies, all that kind of stuff. And then he's like, I just want to go and say goodbye to them. And the camera crew were kind of trying to keep him distracted, and he ended up getting the shits and going over, and he would hug every single one, shake their hands.
And I bet every single one was shitting bricks.
Oh, big time. Because he had security, but they were semi and automatic fucking machine guns that were around his security's necks. And these were the security for the whole place, and little bodyguard armies that he had going on.
Jesus.
And they were at every entry and exit of the settlement, it was ridiculous. Like, people were terrified. And if you went to leave, half the time they would shoot you. It was pretty fucked up.
Well, that's just not nice.
No, it wasn't. And it's really fucked. And, like, there's documentaries on YouTube and all over the place and stuff like that in regards to, like, interviews, like, people going back 40 years later and stuff like that. Because even till this day, as far as I'm aware, you can fly over with a helicopter and the settlement's still there. The drums are still there. Everything is still there. That's not, no one's touching it.
That's not creepy at all.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty, like, woo. But, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, sorry, random shit. Go back to you. Back to you. Back to you.
All right. As members of Ryan's delegation boarded 2 planes at the Port Quaytuma airstrip, Jones's armed guards, called the Red Brigade, led by Joe Wilson, Thomas Kice Sr., and Ronnie Dennis, arrived on a tractor and trailer and began shooting at them. Oh, nice. The gunman killed Ryan, and 4 others near a Guyana Airways Twin Otter aircraft. At the same time, one of the supposed defectors, Larry Layton, drew a weapon and began firing on members of the party inside the other plane. Shit, eh?
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Cessna, which included Gosney and Bagby. NBC cameraman Bob Brown was able to capture footage of the first few seconds of the shooting at the Otter just before he himself was killed by the gunman. The 5 killed at the airstrip were Ryan Harris Brown, San Francisco Examiner photographer Greg Robson, and Temple member Patricia Parks. Surviving the attack were future Congresswoman Jackie Speer, a Ryan staff member, Richard Dwyer, Deputy Chief of Mission from the U.S. Embassy in Georgetown Bob Flick, an NBC producer Steve Sung, an NBC sound engineer Tim Ritterman, an Examiner reporter Ron Javers, a Chronicle reporter Charles Cross, a Washington Post reporter, and several defecting Temple members. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's some messed up stuff. Later that same day, November 8, 78, 909 inhabitants of Jonestown, 304 of them children, died of apparent cyanide poisoning. Holy snap. There's no warning. Thank you for that. I'm just reading it and there it is. Mostly in and around the Central Pavilion. This resulted in the greatest single loss of American civilian life, murder and suicide, though not on American soil yet, in a deliberate act until September 11, 2001. Yeah, all right. The FBI later recovered a 45-minute audio recording of the mass poisoning in progress. Oh, really?
Yeah. So they would do drills, right? They would do drills, and it was like white something that he would yell out through the microphone system.
Yeah.
And there'd be sirens, and they would all have to run and meet in this hut, and he would preach, and he would say this, and he would say that. There's a whole speech that he does, and he records, and you can hear it, where he talks about what's going to happen. And he tells them that the planes are going to be shot down. They're going to crash. They're not going to get any further. And then the next step is them. While he's doing this, his little servants are making it up because the week prior, he had all of it shipped in. It wasn't like, oh, we've just got it. It was, he had it shipped in, and they had it in big drums. They made it in drums.
Holy shit.
The children went first. They had syringes, like, medicine syringes, syringed it down the kids' throats.
Come on, that isn't even fucking cool.
No. The kids and the elderly went first, then the women, and then the men. I'm dead set. There is about 20 to 120 people that were there that have not been found till this day. Because he was meant to have over 1,000 people together, and there were only 900 and something. So
909.
Besides the 15 that disappeared, that left, the ones that died, but on the airstrip, there's about 100 or so that have vanished from the face of the earth because they've taken off. Some left during that day because they knew shit was going down, and there was like,
so they're out there. They probably just changed their names.
Yeah. So there was people that escaped during a supply run.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, they were doing a supply run fucked off. Other people the week leading up to it, because everyone kind of had a feeling something was going to go down, they were disappearing.
Fuck me, all right.
Yeah.
All right, I'll keep reading. On the tape, Jones tells temple members that the Soviet Union, with whom the temple had been negotiating a potential exodus for months, would not give them passage after the airstrip shooting. The reason given by Jones to commit suicide was consistent with his previously stated conspiracy theories of intelligence organizations allegedly conspiring against the temple, that men would parachute in here on us, shoot some of our innocent babies, and they'll torture our children. They'll torture some of our people here. They'll torture our seniors. Jones's prior statement that hostile forces would convert captured children to fascism would lead many members who strongly believed in the temple's leftist ideology to view the supposed suicide as valid. Oh, man. With the reasoning, Jones and several members argued that the group should commit revolutionary suicide by drinking cyanide-laced grape-flavored Flavor Aid. Oh, that's like cool. Okay.
Yeah. So
later,
it wasn't even really cool.
No. At least get the real brand. Like, for fuck's sake.
I know.
Later released Temple films show Jones opening a storage container full of Kool-Aid. There it is, in large quantities. However, empty packets of grape Flavor Aid found on the scene show that this is what was used to mix the solution, along with a sedative. Jones had taken large shipments of cyanide into Jonestown for several years prior to November 78. Having obtained a jeweler's license that allowed him to purchase the compound in bulk to purportedly clean gold. Oh, okay.
That's a new one.
One temple member, Christine Miller, descends towards the beginning of the tape. When members apparently cried, Jones counselled, "Stop these hysterics. This is not the way for people who are socialists or communists to die. No way for us to die. We must die with some dignity." Jones can be heard saying, "Don't be afraid to die. The death is just stepping over into another plane, and that it's a friend." Jones's wife apparently protested killing the children. She was forcibly restrained and then joined the other adults in poisoning herself. Okay. What, are they giving lobotomies out before this shit? What the fuck? At the end of the tape, Jones concludes, "We didn't commit suicide. We committed an act of revolutionary suicide, protesting the conditions of an inhumane world." So you committed okay. According to Temple members, Odell Rhodes and Stanley Clayton, who escaped the mass poisoning, children were given the Flavor Aid first by their own parents. Families were told to lie down together. Rhodes also reported being a close contact to dying children. Jesus. Mass suicide had been previously discussed in simulated events called White Nights. There it is. On a regular basis. During at least one such prior White Night, members drank liquid that Jones falsely told them was poison.
Like he was training them and getting them ready for it. Asshole.
Following the mass murder-suicide, Jones was found dead at the stage of the Central Pavilion. He was resting on a pillow near his deck chair with a gunshot wound to his head, which Guyanese coroner Cyril Mutu said was consistent with suicide. Jones's body was later moved outside the pavilion for examination and embalming. The official autopsy conducted in December of 78 also confirms Jones's death as a suicide. His son Stephen believes his father may have directed someone else to shoot him, but this is speculation. The autopsy also showed levels of the barbiturate pentobarbital in Jones's body, which may have been lethal to humans who had not developed psychological tolerance. Okay. According to Jeff Ginn's book, The Road to Jonestown, Jim Jones and People's Temple, Jones's body was cremated and his remains were scattered in the Atlantic Ocean. The only surviving Jones family members are Stephen, Jim Jr. and Tim, as they were playing basketball in Georgetown at the time. And Susan. Oh, that was the daughter, wasn't it?
Yeah.
She didn't go to Jonestown in the first place and turned back on the whole thing, and her father hated her for it.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
So, when they find the wife's body, she, before it all happens, she takes the reporters and stuff out and shows them like the fields and how they survive and all of that stuff. And they ask her some questions about her kids and, you know, living there and all of that stuff. And they ask her why Susan's not there.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets really upset, but then she said, and she starts making comments like, you know, I don't want anyone to touch my daughter, blah, 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 like leave her out of this. And that she didn't want her kids to be involved in any of this.
Okay.
But they all did.
Yeah.
You know, the boys, they chose not to go back. See, they went to the headquarters in Georgetown and there was a two-way radio, like big radio system thing. And he told them at the headquarters, like the chief running it, this is what needs to happen. And she told them all there that we're going into lockdown and this is what's happening. They left. The boys were like, fuck you, and left.
Wow.
So not just at Jonestown, but in Georgetown at the headquarters, there was suicides there.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, there was like 3 or 4 suicides there, and they were kids as well as the lady. She's with Bang Bang Bang. And
fucking hell.
yeah, like it's pretty full on, like when you look at all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like there was an elderly lady that was there, knew what was happening, and when the final sirens went, she hid under the bed.
Yeah.
And waited. The soldiers, the armed bodyguards, went around and shot everybody as well to make sure they died. If they thought you moved, they shot you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did the old lady survive?
Yeah, she did, because she was the one who made it aware.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for her.
I know. That would have been so fucked up walking out though.
Oh.
But, yeah, so.
Absolutely terrifying, because you just don't know if there's a guard going to come around the corner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fuck me.
Fucked up. But yeah, that's Jonestown.
That is some heavy fucking shit. Poisoning the Kool-Aid. Or Flavour Aid, not even real Kool-Aid.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Right, that's where that comes from. Stay woke, y'all. That is just some heavy fucking shit. I hate that they did it to the kid. Like, don't force your religious bullshit on your children.
No,
let them figure out what crazy cake religious shit they want to do when they grow up. Don't make them do it beforehand. That is just some messed up stuff. So how come he never drank it?
because he's a bitch. That's why.
And that's probably why his son was all like, he probably got someone else to shoot him because he couldn't do it himself.
Fucker.
Right. I mean, wouldn't you, like, run for it?
You would think that. Like, it makes sense. Like, you would think. But it just goes to show that he was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
That he was happy to watch these kids get it forced down their throats, but he couldn't do it himself.
That's like some sadistic shit right there.
Yeah. It's just like, no, you're just a piece of coward shit.
I mean, wouldn't you just, like, gather all the gold and all the assets and just go south of the border?
Yeah. Be like, you got this. Grow lots of weed. You'll be fine. I'm gone.
Yeah.
No.
I just feel bad for the kids.
I know. It's fucked up. It was a documentary I watched with Mum on YouTube, and at the end they show all the images of the kids.
Oh, why do they do that?
They were fucking cute. They were total cuties. And you know what? Okay, here's the thing that's not in that. For the people to leave, they had to sign their children over to him. So all the kids, if there was anyone there that had kids, they had to sign a legal document signing.
Was it really a legal document, or was it only legal in the eyes of the church?
And it was legal in the eyes of the church.
Yeah.
They were going to get shot if they left.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, they interviewed one of the survivors of the leaving, and then he ran into the bushes when they were shooting on the airstrip. And he's like, I would have stayed, or I would have got my son out. He's like, he told me that I could come back anytime, and I was still a part of it.
Also, the people on the plane didn't know about the cyanide shit?
No, they had no idea.
Wow.
No one knew. The only people that knew were the people that were going to commit the murders. And some of them some of the ones on the airstrip, the people, the murderers, got arrested and got life in jail. Like, they
good.
didn't even fully commit to the whole thing. They were like, we're going to go on a shooting rampage, and then they got arrested.
Well, that's good.
I know, but, like...
Still.
You should have just taken yourself out. Like, stop wasting people's money.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's a whole other podcast, though.
Pieces of shit.
Mm.
But, yeah.
That sucked.
I know. I'm sorry that was your first reading.
Well, I mean, you know.
Throw you in the deep end a little.
That's all right. That's just fucked up. But I mean, you know, it's meant to be heavy. It's murder and things.
It's a cult.
Yeah.
They only end in tears.
Why can't there be fun cults?
I haven't seen one yet.
Mm.
I would never join a cult.
I mean, and I'm not about anyone who does it, you know, because I feel like maybe you'd have to be at like a certain like level mentally to reach out and need that human interaction and that reassurance and that family that the religious shit gives you. You know, there'd be a level that would be very low that you would feel that that is what you need, that is what you're seeking, that is what you're missing. And I guess it's preying on the vulnerable because you're very vulnerable at that point.
But you've got to be pretty, in my opinion, pretty weak-minded to let some cockhold manipulate you into handing over all your cash. Like, I feel like they're up there with, like, the scammers that ring old people and go, your internet's not working, give us all your money and we'll fix it. Like, I feel like it's up there with that. You just don't do that.
Or there are
shit.
retirement villages that, like, you got to sell your house and give us however many fucking percentage of your assets.
It's like, go fuck yourself.
Mm.
If anyone asks you for money, no.
No.
It's 2 letters. It's really, like, it's kind of liberating when you say it.
Mm.
No.
But I mean... and you see it all the time, if they've bullshitted, if the church or the people that are doing the recruiting have said enough bullshit to make the vulnerable feel needed, wanted, special, loved, whatever the fuck they needed at the time.
Like, I get it, but at the same time, no.
It's just hard to fathom, but I can see where it goes wrong. You can see where it goes wrong.
Yeah. Second they start asking personal questions that make you uncomfortable.
But the thing is, I bet they never felt uncomfortable about it until, you know, it was kind of, they were in way too deep.
Yeah. I'm just like, no.
No, I don't like people enough to do any of that.
Yeah, no. Fuck that.
Mm.
No. I would honestly love to talk to somebody that's joined a cult and then left. Like, how do they deal with society now?
And, like, integration and coming back in because they've been in this one type of, like, commune thing.
That would be really kind of curious to talk to somebody that's been like, oh, yeah, I was in this cult. I was there for so long, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like, okay, it's like, how do you mentally, firstly, deal with and process what the fuck you've just been through?
Mm.
And then how to adjust to life outside of it. Like, that would be pretty curious.
And that's the thing. Not everyone's had terrible, shitty versions of that
like,
cult.
We just lived on a farm and
smoked a lot of weed.
Yeah, I'd be like, cool. Oh wait, no, yeah, do that.
There you go. Get some of that in you.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool to have a yarn with somebody.
Mm.
But I don't know anyone that's left cults that I know of. Anyway.
No.
Yeah, none are coming to mind because I'm pretty sure I'd be like harassing the fuck out of them in the nicest way, just asking stupid questions already by now. They'd be hating me.
I think most religions are a load of shit, but you know.
Yeah. You do you, boo. Like, you know, if that's what you
Well,
need.
that's it. I mean, you know.
I'm cool. I'm good.
You know, a lot of people need something bigger to blame and thank.
I will admit there has been a few times in my life where I've considered going
Turning.
religious.
Like it's some vampire type shit.
Yeah. But then I realised I'd probably burst into flames walking into a church.
Not if we call it at the Church of Jess. You walk in and it's like bats come flying out.
Yeah. Be really cold. Yeah. And dark.
But minky blankets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be cold and dark. I like that. Church of JR.
That's the one. Oh, that already sounds creepy.
There we go. TM.
But I want the doors to be like the old Western bar doors that swing.
Saloon.
Yes!
No.
I want saloon doors.
No, I want like
but
big,
black ones that swing.
Big iron ones that make that. Or it's.
On a remote though, because fuck you, I don't want to open them every time someone
Like
comes.
those like laser gargoyles when they break the laser beam. It's like.
Yes! Yes.
Oh,
That's terrible.
that's fucking hilarious. I fucking love that. It'd be in a barn. Definite barn.
Mm-hmm.
So you can like hang chandeliers from the ceiling.
Still creepy and shit.
Yeah.
Purple velvet.
No. Emerald.
Oh, you're green. Mm.
Black roses.
Can I wear my light up Ugg boots?
Yes, you can.
Well, then that's all right then.
Saturday nights is rave night, and then Sundays we're all in there. What up, fuckers?
Yeah.
Go get fucked up last night.
I'm getting very Metalopolis vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down for that. And then occasional lucky print.
I think mine would just involve bacon and rum.
Yeah, I can see that.
Questionable morals as well.
Yeah, that's what you should call it. Question mark.
You know, and there's a bar that's not ever closed.
No, it is open 24/7 with just rum.
Well, various types. I mean, I'm not a complete savage.
Oh, we got coconut tequila in the work now. Y'all haven't figured it out. I do work in a pub.
I think our 5 followers are from the pub.
Yeah, what's up, bitches? Yeah, we got coconut tequila.
Well, I
tried it and was like, yeah, it doesn't burn. It's nice.
Well, maybe we need to add some to the collection.
Skulls on it.
Oh, I think I've seen the bottle.
Yeah, we should just have it because of the skulls.
Well, we can do that. And I still need to try the pineapple Captain Morgan, though.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Or mango. Was it pineapple or mango?
It's pineapple.
Mm.
It's a weird colour.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Enough talking about alcohol, considering.
So, in conclusion, Jonestown just sucked balls, and it was really horrible that they fucking.
Don't join a cult.
They put
Unless it's-
poison in the Kool-Aid.
All right. Don't join cults. All right. Don't hand money out to strangers. Just don't do it.
Just don't like people in general.
Just don't. Yeah.
And if Jess was to have a church, the Church of JR, it would be very dark and cold.
Like my heart.
But if I had one,
Soul.
there would be a lot of rum and bacon.
Yeah.
Yes, like your soul.
Like my soul.
Humans like how I like my coffee and the colour of my soul.
Alrighty, guys. I'm going to wrap it up because...
Now we're just dribbling shit.
Now we're not just dribbling crap.
What are we going to do next week? Have you got any idea, or are you just, because you're helping me move this week, that you haven't really thought about
Yeah,
it?
this bitch is moving home.
Suck it, you have to deal with me
I know, it's like being an only
24/7. Hey, I'm going to buy a house. Fuck you.
I know, me too.
Ooh. You could buy a property and you can put your barn on it.
I
Yeah.
was just thinking that. Goodbye, a barn.
Mm.
Ooh.
But barn's very American. What do we call them?
Big ass shed.
Yeah, it's just a shed, really, isn't it?
No, because like, no. I like a barn. Unless, like, if I do a church...
There was an old church up for sale, actually.
Yeah, I know. I would have fucking bought it.
I was not going near it.
Yes. I'm so excited. 'Cause, I would have just... you know what? I would have bought the church. Yes.
That's great, me.
What? Yes.
You're going to be haunted as fuck.
So I would have conversations besides my 6 other personalities. All right? There'd be more of a conversation happening because it's very frustrating.
I see.
You good?
Yep.
Okay, we're going. I've had enough. All right. I'm over it.
Okay.
I've given enough love today.
Yeah, I have no more love to give.
No more love to give. All right. Hope you guys have another wonderful week, and we'll see you next time on the flip side.
Well, what?
I was like, all that jazz. Jazz hands.
That's the one. Spirit fingers, Jess.
Oh, sorry. Spirit fingers. All right. Bye.
Bye.